Okay, we're going to do movement in our platform game. This is part 2 of our video tutorial on platform games with gravity. And we're going to do jumping. And if you look on here, we're going to have a keyboard event of up. And so let's go ahead and code that in. We go to our hero, add event, it's keyboard, and it's up. Okay? Now, the thing about jumping is we're only going to jump if there's something below us. If there isn't, we're not. So what we're going to do is we're going to check to see if there's a collision below us. So we need that check collision, a y of 1, and a relative. So we're going to check that first. So that's under control. Check for collision. That's this one right here. Check for collision, y of 1, relative. Okay? So it only applies to solid objects. And remember that block was solid, so this will work. Click OK. So if there's a collision at a position, then we're going to be able to jump. So what we're going to do is we're going to set a vertical speed of -10. Okay? By setting a vertical speed of -10, at the first loop, vertical speed's -10, so it's moving upward at a speed of 10. But what happens the moment we're in the air? What is going to apply against this character? Gravity, right? So once gravity gets applied, eventually that vertical speed is going to go from -10 up to 0 and then up to 12, and eventually it'll be coming back down at full speed. So let's do that. Set vertical speed to -10. And then I don't recall if that needs to be relative. No, it's not relative. Let's go ahead and test it out. And then run it, watch him fall, and then we'll try to do the up arrow to get him to jump. Of course, you can use the space bar if you want. How did I get 2 of these guys? That's kind of fun. All right, I must have added him to the room. Okay, left movement is just like right, only you're going in the opposite direction. So we first want to see if there's anything to our left. In order to do that, we're going to check to see if it's empty 4 pixels to our left of our object, so we check relative. And if we are, we're going to jump 4 pixels to the left. Okay, so we're going to check empty. That's this one. Oh, wait, wrong one. Hold on. I got to add my keyboard event. Keyboard left. And then we're going to check empty. -4 for left. Relative to our object. In other words, 4 pixels to the left of our object. If it is, then we're going to move in that direction using the jump, which is this one with the 2 X's. And we just give it a value of -4, check relative. By the way, if we don't check relative, it's going to move it 4 pixels off the screen and at the very top. We don't want to do that, so we want it relative to our current position. And that's movement left. Movement right is the same, only you're giving it +4 in both of those. So, in fact, I can highlight these 2, copy them, add my next keyboard event. Why did it suddenly just get totally quiet? And let's do right. I'm going to right-click and paste those actions in action. And this time, we're going to check empty, and we're going to give it a value of +4. In other words, 4 pixels to our right. It's also checked as relative. And if there's nothing within 4 pixels to our right, we will go 4 pixels to the right and click OK. So that's our left and right movement. Let's go ahead and test it out. So watch him fall. And we're going to go to the right. Now see what happens? Jump. Now try to jump while you're in the air. It won't happen. Of course, if you want to do the joust game, you can do that. So who wants to know how to do it like joust? In joust, you're flying, and every time you press the button, you go up. You don't have to be touching the ground. And you would want some kind of creature with wings or something you could animate, or just do it standard. Watch what I do here. The only difference is on up, you just eliminate this if there's a collision at position. So you can delete it. And then I would set the vertical speed to less than 10. I'd maybe set -5. Now watch what happens when I do this. I can start flying around the stage. But in order to fly, I have to keep pressing the up arrow. See that? So you kind of choose how many times you press it to do that. Okay, enough of that. Let me pull the extra guy off the room. Bam, he's gone. Actually, I think we got everything there. Okay, so we're going to do one more thing. I'm only 5 minutes into this video tutorial, so I want to show you a couple more enhancements. Number one, remember how we did views. We can set the view in the room. So you click views, choose enable the use of views, make it visible when the room starts, and then the view in the room, like how big of a window of this room do we want? So it's 640 by 480, so we might want to try 320 by 240. Oops. Okay, so that's a window like that size. That's probably pretty good. And then we're going to follow our hero. And then vertical box, you're going to want more. I figured at about 80 is what you want. And that means the box under him that pushes down. You'll see what I mean. I'll adjust it so you can see it. And you didn't see that window there. There we go. Okay, see how now he fell and we can see the platform, but we can't see all of it. Now look at how close we are to the window. We need to change that. So that's the horizontal box. You want to see at least a little bit of a hint as to what's coming next. So let's do that. So that's what that vertical box was about. Let's try a horizontal box of about 80. And now watch how you'll be 80 pixels to the right of our character we can see. So that'll help out a little bit. So as we get that close within that many pixels, it shows us about. So it gives us a little hint ahead of time as to what's there. I just fell out of the screen. Now that's one enhancement. That's views, and that's a good way to do platform games because you can make really big giant games, but then make the screen be 640 by 480 and just follow that area.